lot of number of deaths that are taking place. India has reached about 3.7 lakhs of deaths. And many people have become sick. My own students have said in Mumbai, Delhi, that they lost their loved ones. We lost one of our BCA students just last week, who was from Kerala, and he just was talking to his mother on the phone, and he just collapsed on the street and died. So at these troubled times, any troubled times, for example, in our life, we have personal issues, we have family issues, we have college-related issues. How can you remain optimistic during that time? Because, there's a beautiful statement that we say, optimism is a faith that leads to success. So optimism is a faith that leads to people who are optimistic, people who are positive thinking, actually will go to be successful in the future. You can ask me the question, sir, how can we be optimistic during this pandemic? We are all locked up in our houses. Our house is very small. Our parents are sometimes fighting with each other. We have financial problems. Sometimes we can't go out to get what we need. You can ask us the question, sir, how do we remain optimistic? Because there is a book, he's the father of positive psychology, Dr. Seligman. He's written a book, Learned Optimism. So people are called to learn optimism. And how are you going to do that? And before starting with optimism, I would like to speak to you one or two concepts. Yeah? The concepts of positive and negative imaginations. Your mind has the ability to imagine positively as well as to imagine negatively. I want to share with you one example. Here you see, a crystal ball. Even you might have seen in your villages or in your cities, there will be a person who will look at the crystal ball and tell you the future. Yeah, the crystal ball is a sign, actually, the light will burn and they will tell you the future. It so happened, there is a guy in Bombay. He went actually to see this crystal ball gazer. It is the incident is mentioned in the book, The Power of Subconscious Mind. It is written by Dr. Joseph Murphy. What happened? This man goes there and he tells him, sir, you are a crystal ball gazer. Can you tell me what my future will be? Then to his shock, what is the crystal ball gazer said? He said, you will die in the next full moon day. And to his surprise, he believed him completely. He believed that man completely by saying that I will die in the next full moon day. This full moon and are related to palm tree and other things and all, people who foretell futures. So Dr. Joseph Murphy will say, he began to strongly believe and build that negative imagination. Guys, remember, there is a possibility of positive imagination. There is a possibility of negative imagination. So he started telling everybody, I'm going to die on so-and-so day. I'm going to write my will, my property, the money that I have. He started believing so strongly. Even his own family members mocked at him and said, come on, don't believe such stuff. You were supposed to be a positive person. No. That crystal gazer, he told me that I will die on the next moon. It went so deep in his mind that he started dividing his property, telling his wife, telling his family members. And on the exact day of the full moon, what happened? He had a massive heart attack and died. Guys, remember, negative imagination, people who are negative will always lead to negative things. That's why the first book that we see is The Power of Subconscious Mind. You can see Dr. Joseph Murphy's book is available. It is available on Amazon.in. And he speaks, now, if you are going to go on having negative emotion, negative imagination, you are going to receive negativity in your life. But there is also the other person. Oh, is it only the research done by Dr. Joseph Murphy? Because we could also say there is other way also, there is positive imagination. Is this scientifically true? You can ask me. But even the other book, there is a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. The author is Florence Scovel-Shin, that I assume. In this, he gives an example. A person constantly believes that he would get a rare disease. Actually, it is a very difficult to come by. And what happened, he read about that rare disease, and he constantly pictured this in his mind and said, negatively, that I will catch that disease. I will contract that illness. So in that book, what happens is the real life examples. And everyone is telling you won't get it, man, don't worry about it. But to the disbelief of everyone, he actually contracted that illness. So guys, remember, there is something called negative imagination. You can live all your life. So what we need to do, this concept is, we are called to train our minds towards positive imagination. There are two options left to you. Now I think I'm very happy that Red Cross as well as NSS unit have come to organize this. Being optimistic, creating positive imagination. See, I tell you, there are two books I showed you. One is The Power of Subconscious Mind. Second, Game of Life and How to Play It. They're given two examples. When you build negative imagination, it leads you to negativity. So you constantly criticize everything. What you get? Criticism. You constantly tell lies about everything. What do you get? Lies in return. You constantly cheat. What happens? In return. That's why simply, a word is said, whatever you sow, you will reap, it said. So now the first thing, being optimistic, is to build your positive imagination. Guys, remember, I know you guys are very good daydreamers, I know as young people, even I have done daydreaming. Can I just see how many of you daydream? Can anyone tell me yes or no? Can I hear a yes or no from somebody? Do you all positively imagine something?
Yes.
Yes. I'm pretty sure most of you might be imagining a girl will imagine a prince will come on the horse and take her with him. A boy will imagine that he will ride his bike and this beautiful Duke bike that has come, a racing bike. We always have a daydream with a positive imagination. But if you train your mind towards positivity, it can lead to successful living. That's why I said the father of positive psychology, Dr. Seligman, would say in his book, Learned Optimism, optimism is the way to success. Now I told you related topics. One is positive imagination and negative imagination. Two examples I gave of a crystal gazer as well as a person who said who will get a rare disease. Now we are going to ask you the question. Now as young people, you guys are supposed to be bubbling with the energy, fearless. Come on, let's see it. For even my students tell me, come on, let's go and see it. But there is another group of people who are always thinking of negative imagination. Yeah, I'll tell you an example for that, case studies that we have. It seems, mother sent two of her children to the school. So their daughter has come back, the son is delayed. So the mother thinks, oh, my son should have met with a terrible accident. She's going to the husband and telling him, look, he's not back. But Dad says, he must be playing with the other boys. He'll be back. Then again, she's waiting for another 10 minutes. Again, he's not back. Again, he goes, something terrible might have happened. Then the husband seems to say, don't worry, he will come back. He must be playing with the other boys. Then after 10, 20 minutes, she becomes so anxious, so worried. And suddenly that boy runs into the house. And dad asks, what happened? No, dad, I was playing. Then mom says, no, there must be some troublesome reason, that something is hiding. That evening, the mother could not even sleep because she was constantly thinking negative imaginations. So I want to ask you, all of you, what type of imagination do you have in your life? Future? Oh, I don't know what I will do with my life. Negative imagination. One of my friends told me when I joined college, hey, what do you want to be in future? What do you see? He said, I want to be the vice chancellor of this university. I was shocked because everyone said, I want to get a job. I want to get a house and all. His positive imagination was greater that years. And even when he had troubles, I asked him, how will you overcome this trouble? He said, these are so easy because I know this trouble shall pass away. And as you see, today, Azim Premji University, and there are philanthropic organizations. Even we see the Jain community, St. Joseph's and Jesuit community. They are giving so much of food relief kit to everyone. What is the positive imagination? This pandemic will go. We will do great in the future. Guys, that's what I want to tell you as we start. Few concepts, positive imaginations and negative imagination. You can train your mind to have positive imagination at all times. You can train your mind towards negative imagination at all times. Choice is with you. That's why somebody will say, no, you choose your happiness, they say. Choose means, sir, is it a choice? Yes, of course it's a choice. Either you can choose happiness or you can choose sadness. If you choose to be happy in the most difficult times, then you can be very happy in good times. So guys, again I'm repeating the words. If at all you have any doubt at any time, you can stop me. It is not for class sake or it's not for examination. I say, this is for your life. And pandemic is a great teacher, I feel. I learned a lot of things during this pandemic, and I really appreciate the things that I have learned. So even though we had our difficulties, there are so much of positive things. Love for nature, protecting the environment, no use of plastics, no use of too many vehicles and not destroying the resources. So the first thing that we see is, we have the option to train your mind towards positive imagination or towards negative imagination. So in that book, if at all you go through the book, The Power of Subconscious Mind, he says every thought is a cause. So if you're thinking positive, the effect will be also positive. I want to show you on the right side of the slide, you can just read, every thought is a cause, every condition is an effect. If you think positively, positive will happen. If you think negatively, negative will happen. And one more statement he will make, Dr. Murphy, Joseph Murphy, change your thought and you change your destiny. Somebody told me, when you are going to play football, so there was a football match in our college. I told him, hey, are you confident? He said, I'm very confident, sir. I will win the match, he said. Then I told him, how are you sure? Because I strongly have positive imagination. Remember, guys, he said to me that quote, if you think you will fail, you have already failed. I repeat, if you think you will fail, you have already failed. That means your cause is the effect. So one thing is, your positive thinking will lead you to positive output. Your cause will also reach into the result. And the third thing in his book, Joseph Murphy will say, you substitute faith with fear. Substitute faith. Don't be afraid, anxious, worried, what will happen to me? Because optimism is facing the problem with faith. Guys, that's what I want to tell you. Positive imagination, negative imagination. You can train your mind and then you can read out. Can any one of you can read out these 3 sentences? Every thought, change your thought and substitute faith with fear. Can anyone just read out? Yeah, please go on. Yeah, please.
Every thought is a cause and every condition is an effect. Change your thought
Yeah, go on.
and you change your destiny.
Yeah.
Substitute faith with fear.
Yeah. So these are the 3 important things I want to share with you from Joseph Murphy and all. Because you guys are young people and you belong to Red Cross as well as NSS. I really admire the positivity they express, as well as condition to the society. Now, I want to play to you a small video on optimism and positive thinking. Right now, I'm coming to the topic, what do you mean by optimism? You know, the mothers are actually the most optimistic people. I know you can think of your own mother, you know. In my school, teacher said, your son is useless, he won't study. My mother said, no, he's very clever boy, he will study well. And we got only 30, 40 marks in our class. No, my son will become a doctor. Yeah, we did not have enough food to eat. My mother will say, oh, you have already had enough food to eat. Mother is the most positive person we have seen, especially towards the children. And in this video, he will talk about his own mother who was very positive in the approach. I'm just clicking on the video. Just tell me if you can hear the audio.
This, thank God, is not me.
Can you hear the audio?
Yes.
Yes, sir. That's great. So it's a short audio that he's speaking because he talked about his mother. His father was a very tough man. He was a very hardworking man. But the mother, even though she didn't have money, how he taught them optimism, how she taught them positive imagination. Is all right. Just listen to this audio.
This is my little brother, JJ. And growing up looking like that is not easy, but life is good. That's me on the top bunk and JJ on the bottom bunk. We're the youngest of 6 kids, and we grew up just outside of Boston. And our dad worked in a machine shop, mom raised the kids. And I understand, you know, like there's all these photographs of our older brothers and sisters. This is like one of 3 photographs of our childhood. So I understand, you get it. You know, they didn't have enough money, they lost the camera, whatever. But I'd like to have kids, and when I have kids, I'm not going to pamper them, but I am going to put some fucking sheets on the bed. This is our mom, Joan. Joan was the first powerful optimist in our lives.
So he says, Joan, the mother, was the first optimist. They didn't have money. They have only 3 photographs of their childhood. Today, I'm pretty sure you guys are so passionate about selfies. Every day, you must have about 10 to 25 selfies that you take. Minimum, I'm saying. I'm pretty sure there are people who are taking more selfies. But the whole childhood is reflected with the 3 pictures, but a great optimism.
Almost the entire time growing up, our dad, who wasn't a bad guy, was depressed by any definition. And our mother was there to keep the family together. She stayed by my father's side, and she showed us that although we didn't have the money to travel to Disneyland, we could go anywhere in our mind. She unlocked our imagination. When she told us bedtime stories, she didn't just tell us the stories, she acted out the characters. But maybe the most powerful thing our mother did for us was a little ritual at the dinner table. She looked around to her 6 kids, no matter what was happening, and she said, tell me something good that happened today.
See, another important point at the dinner table. Dinner table is the time where the family comes together, at least most of the families. So the mother gave one thing, tell me something that was good today. What does it say? You can always look at the negative things in life, or you can always look at what is positive in life. Yeah, I remember, there was a movie that I watched, The Beautiful Life, I think. You'll be looking, I think Will Smith is the hero in that movie, and most of you watch movies will love that movie. He'll be looking for a job, and he'll be living on the pavement, on the street. And then he'll be painting on that day. He'll be a painter, and he'll be painting. Suddenly the paint will fall on his only shirt that he has. And that afternoon, he has an interview to attend. So he will rush to the interview with the paint on his shirt. Then they will ask, if somebody asks me, why did I give a job to you who came so unclean through for the job interview? He will say, tell them, sir, that I had a nice clean pants on. See, you can look at the negative things of life, or you can look at positive things. Mother asked the question during dinner time, tell me something that was good today.
Very simple prompt. Tell me something good that happened today. It's a nice one to use in your company to start your meetings or at your own family's dinner table. Because what happens is you change the energy. She showed us that our disposition is powerful, and she changed the energy in the house. The media inundates our culture with negative information, always reinforcing what's wrong with the world and rarely telling us what's right with the world. And we all have a choice every day. You can focus on what's wrong with your life, or you can focus on what's right with your life. And wherever you put your energy, wherever you focus and whatever you focus on, that will grow.
So again, I repeat, whatever you focus, that will grow. I told every cause is the effect. Guys, this is very important. Today we have a lot of misinformation about COVID pandemic, and we are already bombarded with negativity. You have a choice.
That was something our mom taught us at the dinner table. Optimists roam the world seeing opportunities. They don't ignore obstacles, but they overcome obstacles by focusing on the opportunities. When you're an optimist, you're more innovative. You're more innovative because you're open-minded. You're not afraid to experiment. You're not afraid to explore the world. The ones who embraced the idea that life is good the most were the ones who were facing the most adversity. It's a photograph of a little girl named Lindsay Began, 11 years old, and she was diagnosed with terminal bone cancer. And the journalist said, do you understand your prognosis? And she said, yes, they don't think I'm going to live.
So an example of an optimism child, again, I gave you an example from Joseph Murphy's book, again, Shin's book, Game of Life, how to play it. Another example he gives about a cancer patient. She was optimist and how she defeats even cancer.
Longer than a year. And he said, do you mind if I ask why you're wearing a hat that says life is good? Because before I was sick, I took my life for granted. But now I want to make sure every day counts. Lindsay Began was 11 years old, 17 years ago, and told she was going to live 1 year. I'm going to play you a short video because Lindsay didn't pass away.
Hi, my name is Lindsay. I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a bone cancer, when I was 10 years old. I was going through chemotherapy and lost all of my hair, so a bunch of our family friends donated hats to me. The one that stuck out to me the most was this Life is Good, and I keep it as a reminder. It reminded me to be positive and happy and excited, even though I was going through something that was a little bit difficult.
What Lindsay showed us is that her optimism enabled her to access courage. So it was the beginning. When we started, we thought, well, there's pessimism, there's realism, there's optimism. We're on this team, okay? Pessimism is corrosive. Realism lacks imagination. Optimism, on the other hand, is boundless.
So remember, there are three words that he's using there. Optimism is boundless. Because optimist sees innovative ideas. Optimist sees possibilities in the world. Optimist roams the world to look the best. But the pessimist, he sits at home worrying what will happen to me. In case that happens, what will happen to me? So realists also, they lack imagination. Oh, my life is terrible. I have to live with this nonsense. Because they lack imagination. My life is not good, but this too shall pass.
People have a misconception that wealth and material goods will make you happy, but statistics show that they don't. Some people think that that special place in life, being in that special place, if it's off at the beach or up in the mountains, or if you get that promotion, or if you meet that special person, then you're going to be happy, then you're going to be fulfilled. It's not true. The only thing that will enable a happy and fulfilling life is your disposition. We didn't invent life is good, but we were the first ones to trademark it. Some guy said that to me recently. He said, I don't think it's fair. I said, what's not fair? He goes, well, you didn't create life is good. My grandfather used to say life is good. I said, tell your grandfather you should have trademarked it. And then he was British. The guy was British. So I said, and if I'm not mistaken, the British invented trademarks. So whatever, dude.
So that's an important thing, Optimism is innovative. Optimism is boundless. Optimism is seeing opportunities even in challenges. Guys, there was a guy who went to a sannyasi and he was telling, see, my life is terrible. I got nothing. If I had some 25 lakhs of rupees, I would really do something because I literally have nothing in my life. And the sannyasi seemed to have said, okay, I will give you the 25 lakhs, but you should give me something in return. And he was shocked. I said, what do I have? I have nothing to give you. And I'm telling you that 25 lakhs and you will give me, and I have nothing to give you in return. No. He said, you take this 25 lakhs and give me both of your eyes. He was shocked. Eyes? Then he asked, you said you have nothing? Do you think your eyes are more valuable than 25 lakhs? Then he said, okay, take 15 lakhs and give me both of your legs. Do you think your legs are more powerful or more valuable than 15 lakhs? And he was struck. Yeah, I've been given the greatest gift of life itself. Then he began to see the world from a different angle. Guys, remember today we are going to say, if you are optimist, as young people filled with energy, there are challenges, there are problems, there are parents are fighting with each other. You don't have money, you don't have a girlfriend, or you don't have a bike to roam about, but still you can be the greatest optimist in the world. Why? Because Martin Seligman, I told you, he will define optimism is reacting to a problem with a sense of confidence and high personal ability. Who is an optimist? He has a problem and he says, I'm confident I can overcome that. He says, I got the ability to overcome that. See, these are the two important things. Reacting to a problem with what? With confidence and with high personal ability. And I tell you, there are people who started in rags, they become millionaires because of the optimism, thinking pattern, working together. Can anyone just read for me this definition of optimism by Dr. Martin Seligman? Any one of you, please?
Optimism is a form of positive thinking.
Yeah.
Includes the belief that you are responsible for your own happiness and that more good things will continue to happen to you in the future.
In the future. So it includes that you are responsible for it. Don't blame your parents. Don't blame your teachers. My social work department teachers say, oh my goodness, even in pandemic, they are in the field. What a terrible department it is. But my students say, come, let us go to the field. Let us create awareness. Let us vaccinate people. So they are responsible for their own happiness and a strong belief. Future also will be good. I know, I am taking a class in St. Joseph's College, a certificate course. The title of the course is How to Be Happier. And one of my students wrote to me, she's the first year student, she joined my course. It's a certificate course, means you have to get some credits and you can choose a course. And Dr. Professor Viola, who introduced me to Anicia as well, who gave my name for this talk, who is also an alumni of your institution. She is my colleague now in my department. She also is part of this course, How to Be Happier. There one student wrote to me, sir, I was diagnosed with cancer last year. Even though it is the first stage of cancer, I was always worried, tensed, and angry, irritated. But when I started attending your classes, I became more optimistic. I'm beginning to take responsibility for my happiness and for my future. I think that's what is important that we are called to today. So there are a lot of research on happiness that we deal with. So when you are low and down, we actually feel terrible. When you are high and euphoric, you feel, wow, life is great. Because people with optimism do not worry about things that they cannot control, but they worry about things what they can control. Yeah? That's why God himself, when he made us all, he said, oh, what are human beings, or a kind of the sense of optimism, sense of faith, sense of belief. If you really believe, you will never fail in your life. There are a number of stories in that book as well, in the game of life and how to play it. He will speak about a lady actually who was on stage, who was an actor. So this lady, what she wanted to be very famous. But she developed some kind of skin problem. When you're an actress or actor, you need shiny skin to be on stage. Constantly she was saying, why this is happening to me? Why this is happening to me? Suddenly one day she became optimist. Everything will be perfect. And in that book, the game of life, you'll say, slowly the skin illness reduced and disappeared. Then it became she was so happy on the first day of her performance, even critics appreciated her. Remember, optimism can bring in success. Optimism can bring in health. Optimism can bring good friendship. Optimists have a lot of people around them. Optimists are innovative in their nature. So even I asked one person, sir, what is happiness for you? He says, I want to have a nice health, meaningful work, and loving relationship. So there are a lot of researches are carried out on people who are optimists. Optimists are not failures because they don't see failures as failures, but stepping stone to success. I'm pretty sure you guys are in this pandemic. You see a lot of people who are optimistic, donating on the field, even healthcare workers. I know one doctor, his mother passed away due to COVID. He went and buried her and came back after 30 minutes to work in the hospital. So that's the one thing that I will tell you. So I told you, who is an optimistic person is one who sees the best possible outcome, who always believes in the future, who always sees the law of optimization. How can I be better in my life? So that is the person who is an optimistic. But I know, I told an example of pessimistic person. Oh, all bad things happen because of me. Yeah, and nobody likes me. What I'm going to be, I can't be successful in my life. Yeah, all negative experiences come to me. So this is a choice I told you, positive imagination, negative imagination, optimistic, pessimistic. You can tell also here, what do you see? I told you the optimist will see the half glass full, The pessimist will see the half glass empty. Yeah, some will ask, oh, you believe in the lucky monkey. What is lucky monkey? Only our imagination is enough. Only optimism is enough. You guys, oh, if I think good, my husband will be good to me. What rubbish that you're talking? You start thinking, the cause will have its effect. That is a research that has been carried out all along. You start thinking positively about your health, it will change. Your relationship, your attitude to your family. So that is where we say the glass is half full. So I'm not going to explain to you, I'm already explained these words. Can any one of you just read this slide out to me? So that is nothing to explain, this is self-explanatory. Can any one of you please go on?
Optimistic and positive thinking.
Yeah.
Optimistic thinking. Focus on the idea that everything will work out. Results in that the person can sometimes be blindsided by the situation that occur, not be prepared for it. Positive thinking. Problems can occur and that they won't work out automatically unless the person is prepared for it. Also, it enhances the possibilities and look for solution without the assumption that everything will work out.
Yes. See, positive thinking is you are having a problem, and optimistic thing, I can work out that problem with confidence, with my ability. So positive thinking, no, you're just saying, no, oh, everything will work out on its own. No, we are not only limiting ourselves to positive imagination and positive thinking, but step 2, optimistic thinking. Guys, remember, first is positive imagination, positive thinking, and the second is optimistic thinking. I can deal with the problem with ability, with confidence. That's a moving from being optimist, positive imagination, to being optimistic. So if you are optimistic, you can attain your goals. It can bring happiness. It gives you more energy. You inspire and motivate yourself and others. And you feel life smiles at you. I always see whenever I tell my students, smile at life so that life will smile at you. It reduces your tension, reduces your stress. So these are the benefits of positive thinking that we have. Now you ask me, sir, how to become optimistic? I told you optimism can be learned. How to become, steps to become more optimistic and towards more positive attitude. First thing, always be grateful what you get. Don't tell your parents, no, you have not done anything for me. Life is terrible because of you all. Think, dad and mom, whatever you've done your best. And always choose happiness. And even identify the area that you must change. One morning you get up and then you fought with your dad and mom or your friend. And mind tells you, why did you fight with her, man? She's your friend. No, that is the inner voice telling you, you need to change. I tell my students, don't listen to others, listen to yourself. Morning, the husband gets up and says, last night I fought with my wife, I feel so bad. That inner voice tells you, you shouldn't have done that. Then the next one is substitute challenges for problems. Guys, remember, there are going to be challenges in studies, challenges at home, challenges in you have to substitute. How am I going to solve that problem in my life? View life as a journey and take a break in what you do. So these are the steps that will take you to be more positive in your life. And I already told you, whenever we are with your friends, be optimistic, act happily, and talk positive self-talk. Hey, today you look good, man. Yeah, jeans is good that you're wearing. Mom, the food you cooked is really good. Dad, you're looking younger today. Look, begin your day on the positive note, end the day on the positive note, and be optimistic during the day. It can be learned, and that will bring success to all of us. I'm not going to talk about this, a lot of optimist and pessimist talks that I have, since I have only sometimes maybe another 10 minutes left. So I'm not going to, and another case study I will share with you as we go. There are so many optimist people. And you might have heard about Nick. Nick is from Australia, and he was born without his hands and his legs. I'm pretty sure you might have seen the videos as well as inspirational talks he gives. I just want to play to you the life of Nicholas, how he was optimistic even though he was born without his hands and his legs. I believe, he's a great inspiration. He goes to school, and without hands and legs, he becomes a captain of the school team. Can you imagine? Without hands and legs, how can somebody become captain? And he also speaks about development. He speaks about helping people. He speaks of inspiring people. Just I'll play. I want to hear the yes, whether you can hear the audio.
I just love life.
Can
I
you?
love life. So many people come in.
Can you hear the
Yes,
audio?
we can. We can hear.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Father.
And you smile so much, and I'm like, well, it's a long story.
Dear President Nicholas Wojcik,
The birth of a son with no arms or legs was a challenge they didn't want. I really couldn't believe it. I just thought it was a bad dream. I thought I'd just wake up any minute and it's all right. So I wasn't sure whether I was going to take him home. And I didn't think I would be up to looking after him.
Certainly with time, you grow to accept him, to love him for what he is, the way he is.
Providing Nicholas with everything he needs is a constant struggle. A battle to find or design suitable equipment, a battle to find the money to pay for it all.
There wasn't really much of places or people that you can turn to help you with that.
So everything that we did was with him was trial and error. We just had to take things one day at a time and just work through things, just me and him. Even the doctors couldn't help me much in that regard.
I'm saving up my pocket money for a computer at home.
He can't move as fast as he'd like, but Nicholas Wojcik is a whiz at computer games. This I realised only too well when the 7-year-old Dynamo thrashed me in the first round.
So now he comes to his school, he becomes the school captain and becomes an inspirational man because of his optimism. I love life. I smile a lot. I act happily and positively.
We'll make a better boss.
But when he's not in the classroom, Nick's out here playing sport, and now as school captain, he's determined to make sports days wheelchair friendly.
We can have disabled wheelchair races, and so they get involved too. I was really left out last year.
But not in the playground. As strange as it may sound, Nick's the resident handball champion.
There were times where I sort of looked at my life and thinking, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And you keep on concentrating on the things that you wish you had or the things that you wish she didn't have.
So later he becomes an inspirational, motivational speaker who goes around inspiring children as well as the college students. Don't look at what you don't have. Don't look at what you can't control, but look at what you can do. See everything as a challenge in your life so that you can defeat the challenge, so that you can be a successful person.
Hey, everybody, you want to count with me? Ready, set? 1, 2, 3. She watched them cover magazines, TV screens, wish she could be more like them in her eyes. It's more like them. Someone people admire for beauty. So right now she stares at a window, wishing she could change. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Just the way you are. She was. Cause in her mind there's more to life than being so deeper down she has found the one thing. It's freezing, I can't feel my hands. So she is looking for. I've always wanted to ride a horse on my own. Says you're beautiful. Boom, 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 just the way you are.
So, dear students, this pandemic too shall pass. So, be optimistic, learn positive imagination, and don't concentrate on what you don't have, what you can't control, but see every opportunity and look at the positive things of life. I'm pretty sure each one of you will be great success in your life. And I want to thank the School of Social Work, Roshni, Nilaya, as well as the principal, the vice principal, Anisha ma'am, as well as the Red Cross, as well as Jenis for this great opportunity, guys. I think at this age, you must be bubbling with great optimism. Please do not fall into the deep hole of pessimism, deep hole of negative imagination. If you're there, you can get out of it. And there are so many techniques that are available towards positive imagination, positive thinking, and optimism. Because any person who is truly positive and optimistic in his life will be successful always and everywhere he goes. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I wish I had contributed, given that positivity and optimism to all of you. And this optimism may inspire you to live a happier, better, and joyful life. Thank you, Anisha ma'am. Thank you, every one of you.
Thank you, sir. If anybody has any questions to ask, sir, you all can unmute yourself and ask or type it down in the chat box.
Somebody has raised a hand, please go on. Can you
Students,
hear
you
me?
can unmute and you can ask questions.
Namaste, sir.
Yes, Jyoti. Yeah.
That this pandemic shall also pass. I agree with that. But when the person is suffering with crisis, and what is the way we can approach them to cultivate the optimism in them? Because it is not that easy to tell that when they are suffering, it is not easy to tell them that, okay, it's okay, it will pass. So how can we approach that to them?
Right. See, one crisis intervention, whenever people are undergoing a crisis, one thing, you should not cheer them up. Yeah, don't worry, man, everything will be fine. The first thing as a counselor, what we got to do is listen to the pain of your friend. So the first is crisis intervention. One boy, his girlfriend ditched him. Immediately you should not say, cheer him up, man. There are so many girlfriends. Why are you worried? No. Instead of that, listen to the pain that person is going through. See, the very fact you listen, he or she knows there is someone who cares. That it's an optimism, the first step of optimism. There is someone externally who cares. Secondly, she has shared the problem. She feels lighter. Once she feels lighter, she starts assessing the steps to deal with the problem that she's facing. Jyoti, listen, there are 3 things we got to do. Don't cheer up the person when the person is in crisis. Instead, listen to the pain and empathize with the person saying, I do understand what you feel. What he learns, there is someone who cares. After he shares that problem with you, he feels lighter. He assesses various steps to solve his own problem. He begins to feel he can competently deal with the problem. He has the confidence. He has the support. Automatically, optimism will set into that person. I think it's a very important question. As young people, we try to cheer up people. Never do that. Instead, after some time, cheering up will come when she has started working with the issues that she has faced. Yes, Jyoti, is that clear? Any doubts on that?
Yes, Father. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jyoti, for that. Yeah. Anybody else has a doubt? I'm pretty sure all of you are optimistic, all of you having positive thinking and positive imagination.
Yes, Father.
Yeah, good.
Students, any questions? Okay, one question.
Yeah.
In the chat box. She appreciated your research talk, Father.
Yeah.
She is thankful to you. She felt very happy with your research talk.
I'm pretty sure, I think it's an important thing all students also must carry across. We try to cheer up people and all, but the students of the foundation, at this age, you must learn. So whatever trouble in the future, you will be able to face it strongly. So all of us must learn this. It is learned optimism. Some of you are into psychology, psychiatric social work. You will learn this. And it is a must for all to fight this beautiful life that we have and to see the positivity around us. Yes, Anisya ma'am, if there are no questions.
Yeah, no questions. Fatima, you can move.
Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. So here, I call upon Hasina Muskan, YRC volunteer, to present the vote of thanks.
Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. A beautiful quote by Helen Keller. Honorable dignitaries, distinguished guests, respected faculties, and dear volunteers,
On behalf of School of Social Work Roshni and its entire fraternity, I feel immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Father Dr. Augustine Lourdes, who spared us his precious time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion and enlighten all of us on how to be optimistic during this pandemic. He explained this topic magnificently, which is very much required in the present time of pandemic. Thank you, Father. I would further extend a hearty thanks to Dr. Jenis Mary for addressing the topic and providing us with innovative ideas to stay optimistic. I would take this opportunity to express my deep regards to our principal, Ma'am Dr. Juliet CJ, for being a constant motivator and guiding force in all our endeavors to excel in the field of education. I would especially thank the YRC coordinator, Professor Ganapati of Mangaluru University, YRC program officers, faculties from different colleges for their efforts in this webinar. I would also like to thank our YRC program officer, Mrs. Anusuya Shanoy, our NSS program officer, Mr. Obanath, and our assistant NSS program officer, Mrs. Veena BK, for the determination and hard work. My deep sense of thanks and appreciation goes to all our students, volunteers, and participants who aligned with us and attended this webinar with great enthusiasm. Last but not least, let me thank all of the faculty members of our college for their support, who made today's event a great success. In the end, thank you all for being here with us. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Muskan. With that, we come to an end of today's session. Let's promise to stay optimistic during this pandemic. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you one and all for joining.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, ma'am.
So
Thank
much
you,
for
ma'am.
the wonderful reflective session. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
ma'am.
Father.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, students, you can leave. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.